Hello everyone, welcome to pre-algebra. In this lecture, we're going to look at the metric system. So why is the metric system useful? It's basically useful because it's based on powers of 10. So the metric system is based on powers of 10. Okay, so in this table here, this is basically the metric system for length, for mass, and for volume. Now, in this section, we're going to focus on length, measurements of length in our discussion, and then later in the problems, we will also look at problems involving mass and volume because it's going to be identical. So it's if you look at this, the basic unit of length is the meter. Okay, so in this first column here, basic unit of length is a meter. And then if I want to represent a larger length or a smaller length, I just use a prefix. So if I want to represent 10 meters, then the prefix is deca. So in this case, deca represents 10 times, right? A decameter would be 10 meters. 100 times, the prefix is hecto. So I put that in front of the meter, hectometer, that would be 100 meters. And then 1,000 times is kilo. So kilometer or kilometer is 1,000 meters. And then going the other way, right, again, these are all powers of 10. If I want 1/10 of a meter or 0.1 meter, then that prefix is going to be deci, like decimeter. If I want 1/100th of a meter, that's going to be centimeter. So 1 centimeter is 0.01 meters. Or the other way of thinking, so 1 centimeter is 0.01 meters, right? Or you could also say 1 meter is 100 centimeters, right? Those are equivalent. And then if I want 1,000th, 1 over 1,000 meters, that prefix is milli. So this is going to be millimeter is 0.001 meters, or you could also say 1 meter is equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. Okay, and it's the same thing, so that's for length. It's the same thing for mass, except mass, the basic unit is a gram. So 1 gram is the basic unit. Then if you want 10 times that, you use deca again. So instead of decameter, it'll be decagram. Right? So decagram is 10 grams. Hectogram is 100 grams. Kilogram is 1,000 grams. And if we go the other way, decigram is 1/10 of a gram. Centigram is 100th of a gram. Milligram is 1,000th of a gram. And then for volume, the basic unit is a liter, 1 liter. And again, we use the same prefixes to get our powers of 10. Either 10, 100, or 1,000 times as large, or 1/10, 100th, 1,000th. Okay, so it's the same prefixes, they're just different base units. And again, we're going to focus in our discussion just on length, but we will do problems using all of these at some point. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do conversions within, as long as you're within the metric system. One way of doing it, and you can always do this, is by using unit conversion factors. So let me talk about that, and then I'll show you sort of a shortcut that you can use if you're always going to be converting within the metric system. So to convert, again, I'm going to focus on lengths for now. So to convert lengths within the metric system, we could use unit conversion factors. So, for example, let's say I want to convert um, 5.3 decimeters. So deci is D, so dm, decimeters, to centimeters, which is cm. Okay, so if we look in our table here, right, see how a decimeter is 10 times as large as a centimeter? Right, remember, a centimeter is 1/100th of a meter, a decimeter is 1/10 of a meter. So a decimeter is 10 times as large as a centimeter. So one way we can say that is we can say that the relationship between decimeters and centimeters is that 1 centimeter is equal to 1/10 of a decimeter. Or we could also write it this way, that there's 10 centimeters in 1 decimeter. Okay, those mean exactly the same thing. 1 centimeter is 1/10 of a decimeter, or the other way of looking at it is there's 10 centimeters in 1 decimeter. I actually find this way to be easier. The second one here, there's 10 centimeters in 1 decimeter. So remember, we can form our unit conversion factors, right? I can either write this as 10 centimeters over 1 decimeter, or I can write it as 1 decimeter over 10 centimeters, right? Just form those ratios one way or the other. So if I want to convert 5.3 decimeters into centimeters, which one would I multiply by? Well, same argument as before. We want decimeters to cancel. We want centimeters to survive in the answer. So we have to use the unit conversion factor where decimeters in the denominator. So we want to use that one, right? So this is going to be 10 centimeters over 1 decimeter. So now if I multiply by that unit conversion factor, decimeters cancel. I have 5.3 times 10, that's just going to be 53, right? And that's my answer, 53 centimeters. And centimeters, those units will survive in the answer here. So it's just equal to 53 centimeters. Okay, what if I want to convert let's say 2,000 meters to kilometers, which is km. So if you go back to the chart, remember that a kilometer is 1,000 meters, right? So that's here. All the abbreviations are here, right? Kilometer is K, hecto is H, deca is DA, meters by itself. Then we have deci D, centimeter C, millimeter is M. Okay, so we need this relationship, right? We know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, right? So I'm going to use that. So 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So for my unit conversion factor, I can either write this as 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters, or I could write it as 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. So if I want to convert 2,000 meters to kilometers, so I start with 2,000 meters. I want to multiply by one of those unit conversion factors. I want my answer to be in kilometers. So which one do I use? Well, I have to use the one where meters is going to be in the denominator, right? So it cancels. So I want to use this one, right? So I need to multiply by 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. So notice that meters cancels. Now I can do this multiplication now, right? Really, this is just 2,000 over 1 times 1 over 1,000. You could simplify first, right? 1,000 goes into 1,000 once. It goes into 2,000 2 times. So 2 times 1 is 2. Over 1 times 1 is 1. This is just going to be 2. So it's 2. So 2,000 meters is 2 kilometers, right? And we've solved it by using unit conversion factors. Okay, well, it turns out as long as you're doing your conversions within the metric system, there's an easier way of doing this. So So let me explain this easier way. But you have to be careful. This only works if you're within the metric system and doing conversions. So I'll say there is so I'll say there is an easier way if converting within the metric system. Okay, so the way that we do this is we basically rewrite the metric table. And again, I'm going to focus on lengths right now, but this also works for mass and volume as well. I'm going to rewrite the metric table, but basically lying down instead of vertically. So I'll say metric table lying down. So in other words, I'm going to put the largest unit first, kilometer. So remember that was km. And then hectometer, hm. And then decameter, dam. Then had the base unit meter. Then it was decimeter, right? Then centimeter. And then millimeter. And then if you're dealing with, let's say later you deal with volume, right? Then our base unit is liter. This would just be liter, then decaliter, deciliter, and so on, right? You just replace the m's, the meters, by l's. So it's the same thing. This would be hectoliter, kiloliter, centiliter, milliliter. Okay, but again, we're going to focus on lengths. All right, so what is this easier way? Well, let's say I want to convert 2.3 decameters to centimeters. Okay, so if we look at the table, to get from decameter to centimeters, what do I need to do? So I start at decameters. To get to centimeters, I need to move 3 places to the right, right? So let me write that out here. To get from decameter to centimeter on the table, we move 3 places to the right. So then what do I do with the actual problem to convert it? Well, because remember, these are all off by a factor of 10, right? They're powers of 10, so each one is 10 times as large. So all you have to do is move the decimal point in the number. So if I have to move 3 places to the right in a table, that means I want to do the same thing with the decimal point. So I'll say, do the same with the decimal point. In other words, move it 3 places to the right. So 2.3 decameters, what is that going to be in centimeters? Well, if I move that decimal point 3 places to the right, I need to add 2 zeros here. So it's going to be 2,300 centimeters. And that's my answer. All right, I just move it 3 places to the right. Okay, let's do some more examples of this. Let's say I have 79.1 decimeters, and I want to convert to kilometers. Okay, so how do I go from decimeters to kilometers? So again, here, I'll write out the table again real quick. So km, hm, DAM, meters, decimeters, centimeters, millimeters. So if I start at decimeters, which is right here, how do I get to kilometers? Well, I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left. So all I'm going to do is move that decimal point 4 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to put in 2 zeros here, and that's my answer. So it's going to be 0.00791 kilometers. Okay, what if I start with 9.7 kilometers, and I want to convert that to hectometers? So HM. So again, how do I get from kilometers to hectometers? Well, I look in a table, I start at km, and I want to go to hm. I need to go 1 place to the right. So I need to move this decimal point 1 place to the right, right? It's like multiplying by 10. So if I move that 1 place to the right, so like this, then this becomes 97 hectometers. Let's say I start with 0.000731 kilometers, and I want to go to millimeters. So if I look in the table, I start at kilometers, I want to go to millimeters. So I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places, and it's to the right. So in this case, I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So this is going to be 731 millimeters. So 0.000731 kilometers is equal to 731 millimeters. Let's do a few more. Let's say I start with 111 centimeters, and I want to convert to meters. So again, if you look at the chart here, right? If I start at centimeters, how do I get to meters? Well, I need to go 1, 2 to the left. That's it. So right now the decimal point is at the end, right? So I need to go 2 to the left. So this should be 1.11 meters. I'll do like one more. Let's say I want to convert 0.073 meters to hectometers. So I start at meters. How do I get to hectometers? I need to go 1, 2 to the left, right? So then this is going to be 2 to the left. So 1, 2, I need another 0 here. So this is going to be 0.00073 hectometers. Okay, and really that's all you need to do to go from, as long as you're within the metric system, then all you need to do is move the decimal point the same number of places you would have to move in the table to get to the new units that you want. And again, the same thing works with volume and with mass, right? Like if I have, I don't know, let's say I have 2.37 deciliters, and I want to convert to deciliters. Okay, so in this case, the table is going to be kiloliter, hectoliter, deciliter, liter. Same thing, except instead of meter, I have liter now. Deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter. If I want to go from deciliter to deciliter, then I'm starting here. I need to go 1, 2 to the left, right? So then this answer would be 0.0237, right? Just move that decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the base unit is, the prefixes are all going to be the same. Okay, what if we want to convert between systems, right? What if we want to convert from the US customary system to the metric system, or vice versa, from the metric system to the US system? Then you need to use unit conversion factors. Remember, unit conversion factors will always work. And in most cases, you need to use unit conversion factors. If you're within the US system, you need unit conversion factors. If you want to convert between systems, you need unit conversion factors. The only place where you don't need them is what we just discussed. If you're within the metric system, you can use that quick method because it's powers of 10. And really that's what makes the metric system a little bit easier, okay? But you could always use unit conversion factors even for that case if you wanted to. Okay, so here's another table that I got from your textbook, and it gives some conversion factors between US and metric systems. So for instance, length, 1 inch is exactly equal to 2.54 centimeters. So if you want to convert, it's like the way to get from English system to metric system, right? If you're dealing with length. And then there's other ones here as well. A foot is 0.305 meters and so on. For weight, 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms, okay? Even though really kilogram is a mass, it's kind of a misnomer, but it's used often. People use that conversion. 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. And in volume, a quart is 0.95 liters, or 1 ounce, 1 fluid ounce is 30 milliliters. So there's different conversions to go between one system and the other. So let's do some examples where we convert between systems. And then what I'll do at the end of here is I'll do several examples from your homework from My Open Math. Let's say I want to convert 2 feet to meters. So I'm going from US system to the metric system. Okay, one way of doing this is I could just use this conversion factor directly, right? You see in the table here, there's a relationship between feet and meters. So I can either write that as 1 foot over 0.305 meters, or I could write it as 0.305 meters over 1 foot. So if I start with 2 feet and I want to go to meters, which one do I use? Well, I want feet to cancel. I want meters to survive and answer, so I guess I need to use this one. Right, 0.305 meters over 1 foot. Now the units of feet will cancel, and meters will survive. And then to do this, I just have to multiply this out. So I have 0.305 times 2. This is what, 10, 1. This will be 1, and then 6. And then I need 3 places. So I guess this is going to be 0.61 meters. So 2 feet is equivalent to 0.61 meters. Okay. What if we didn't know the conversion directly from feet to meters? What if I had to do this in several steps? Okay. Well, I could do it, right? Because here, let me try this again. Let's say we want to do the same thing, convert 2 feet to meters. So I start with 2 feet. Let's say the only thing I know is that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. That's also in our table. So that's kind of my bridge, right, between US length and metric length, from inches to centimeters. So what I could do first is I could convert from feet to inches by multiplying by, well, we know that there's 12 inches, and that has to go in the numerator, over 1 foot in the denominator, right, because I want feet to cancel. So now I'm at inches. Then this is now my bridge to go from inches to the metric system. So I know that there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. And again, I'm putting inches in the denominator because I want these to cancel. And then how do I go from centimeters to meters? Well, I know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And then centimeters will cancel, and then I end up with meters. So I could do the same thing that I just did above, except now instead of using 1 unit conversion factor, I have to use 3 unit conversion factors. And you'll get exactly the same thing, right? If you multiply this out, you have 2 over 1 times 12 over 1 times 2.54 over 1 times 1 over 100. So this is going to end up being 60.96 divided by 100, which is 0.6, and if you round it, it's 0.61. So this will be 0.61 meters. Okay, so they're equivalent, right? In this case, we use 3 unit conversion factors because we only knew this conversion. In this case, we use 1. Now, if you have a table, what's the easiest way to do this? You should always just use 1 if you can, right? So if you know a direct relationship from the unit that you have to the unit you want to go to, just use that 1 unit conversion factor. That's the quickest way of doing it. But if you didn't know that, you could do it in several steps and still get at the same answer here. Okay, so let me finish up this section by doing some problems from your homework. Okay, so in this question, I'm given 7 meters. I want to convert to centimeters. Okay, well, because we're within the metric system, I could use that quick method, right? Remember, if I draw the metric system, so this is meters, right? So kilometers, hectometers. I'm drawing it horizontally, like lying down. Decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and then millimeters. If I want to go from meters to centimeters, so I start at meters, how do I get to centimeters? I need to move 2 places to the right on the table. That means I need to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So it's 7 to begin with, so I need to go 2 to the right, so it's going to be 700. So this is going to be 700 centimeters. And that's all you have to do. Okay, in this question, I want to convert from milliliters to liters. Well, again, I'm within the metric system, right? So now instead of meters, I have liters because it's a volume. So this is just K. Instead of km, it's KL. And then it's HL, and then DAL, right? Decaliters, then liters, then deciliters, centiliters, milliliters. And I can use the quick system again because I'm within the metric system. So I want to go from milliliters to liters. So I start here at milliliters. I want to go to liters. So I need to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left in the table, which means I need to move the decimal point 3 places to the left. So if the decimal point is here originally, I need to move it 3 to the left. So it looks like this is going to be 3.96 liters. And that would be my answer. Okay, in this question, I want to go from grams to kilograms. Again, I'm within the metric system, right? But now I'm dealing with mass. But it's the same thing. Instead of M for meters, L for liters, I'm just going to use G for grams. So this table now becomes kilograms, hectograms, decagrams, grams, decigrams, centigrams, and then milligrams. I want to go from grams to kilograms, right? G grams, the base unit, to kilograms. So I start at grams. How do I get to kilograms? I need to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So if I start with 1150, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So I guess it's going to be 1.150. You don't need to write the 0. 1.15 kilograms. That's my answer. Okay, in this question, I want to convert meters to feet, right? So I'm converting between systems. I'm going from the metric system to the US system. So I need a unit conversion factor. I need some relationship between meters and feet. I can either do this in several steps, or ideally, if I can find one relationship between meters and feet directly, then I just need one unit conversion factor. So let's go back to our chart here. Is it in this one? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So I want to go from meters to feet. Is the relationship between meters and feet? Yeah, it looks like right here, right? 1 meter is 3.28 feet. So I'm going to use that. 1 meter is 3.28 feet. Okay, so again, I can write my unit conversion factors as either 1 meter over 3.28 feet or 3.28 feet over 1 meter. Which one do I use? Well, I'm starting with meters, and I want to end up with feet, right, as my units. So I want meters to cancel. So meters has to be in the denominator. So I guess this is going to be 3.28 feet over 1 meter. Meters will cancel, and I'll end up with feet. So I just need to multiply this out. So let's see, 3 times 8 is what, 24? 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 0, 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. So this will be 4. 8 plus 8 is what, 16? 1, that's 10, 12. Carry the 1, and then 4. And then 2 decimal places. So it looks like it's going to be 42.64 feet. So 13 meters is around 42.64 feet. All right, great. So, and that's all you need to do. You either use unit conversion factors, or if you're within the metric system, you can use the easier method of just moving the decimal point. All right, great. Thanks.